The news yesterday out of Lansing was really about regional transit and an event that was actually held here in Detroit that was hosted by the Free Press, one of their breakfast series, where they had all the movers and shakers, Washtenaw County Board Chair Jason Morgan, Oakland County Executive David Calder, Macomb's Mark Hackle, Wayne County's Warren Evans, Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan, all speaking about the regional transit idea that just can't seem to get enough traction to really get moving in Metro Detroit. Now, Mark Hackle's taking the brunt of the heat over this because in Macomb County they shot down the tax last time it was brought up to voters in a big way, and Mark Hackle is seen as the man who is standing in the way of expanding transit in Metro Detroit. Whether that's true or not, that's a whole different story. But there's a discussion about this up in Lansing as well, and that's where we want to go now, because State Senator Jim Runestad, the Republican from White Lake, the 15th district here in Michigan, is right in the midst of it all, and he's on the other end of our line. Senator, good to talk with you again. How you been?
I've been doing great, Frank. I really appreciate the opportunity to bring this extremely important issue up to your listeners.
Well, indeed it is. And, the voters last time around said no to a regional transit tax, but it's a different era now. We have different leaders in place. For instance, in Oakland County, of course, with David Coulter. So is there a different feeling about the way the political winds are blowing in Metro Detroit?
Well, I don't know about the political winds, but certainly there's been a titanic shift in the ability of Oakland County to be protected. Mark Hackle is doing a great job of protecting Macomb. He realizes this is a gigantic, titanic shift of billions of dollars over to Wayne County and Washtenaw County. And all the supervisors in Oakland County, except the Southfield, have said they absolutely oppose this gigantic tax hike. The proposal for this transit tax back in 2016 was 1.2 mils. This is up to 5 mils. It was defeated in Oakland County last time, and now they've got a new Democrat county commission by one commissioner who appointed a brand new executive who's all in for all of these stakeholders who are all looking to siphon off billions of dollars off of this proposal. So it is a disaster for Oakland County. It means that we will have to pay for the pensions of the Detroit transportation system. They're $300 million in the hole. That new Q line is underwater to the tune of millions. We're going to have to pick up the cost for that. They're even saying with the way this is constructed, we'll have to replace lead pipes in the south of Oakland County and other places on this transportation bill. It is the worst bill I have seen since I've been in office, and they are pushing this like there's no tomorrow. I've seen virtually no coverage from the media. Frank, you are the only place that your listeners are going to get what's happening, this steamroller that's coming their way.
Well, that's why we like to, we're not kidding around when we see we got the best informed audience in radio. We mean it. We try to give them all the info about this, Senator Runestad. And, this is a big issue here if it gets pushed through. What is the status, though? I mean, is this a bill that's been introduced? Is it before committee right now? Where does it sit?
It was put into a committee that just banged it out. It's on the floor of the House. It is House Bill 5229. So far, they do not have the votes, but they are twisting arms like there is no tomorrow. I'm urging all of your callers to get on the phone because it not only impacts Oakland County, the way it's constructed, it changes the Michigan Municipal Partnership Act. This could be used in areas all over the state of Michigan where you have an area that's depressed, it's poorly run, and it can usurp other areas into their vacuum of dollars and suck dollars from the surrounding areas. So it's a horrible, horrible bill, and I can't urge your listeners enough to get on the phone and talk to their legislators and oppose this bill.
All right, so this bill would allow for regional transit systems to be set up and votes to be held locally, or I'm missing one part of this somewhere.
Well, the way it's constructed is first, in this instance, The county commissioners have to vote it in. They now have 3 counties that are run by Democrats, because Oakland County was always protected by Brooks Patterson. He's no longer there. So now, by a 1-seat majority, the Democrats will vote this in, and then it goes to a vote of the people. But Wayne and Washtenaw County, they don't have to spend any money there, because they're going to vote for it, because they're going to get the benefits. They're going to spend all the money advertising that's in Oakland County, and there's going to be no counter voice if it gets voted in by the legislature. It must be defeated in the House now.
All right, so the House can block a local vote on this? Is that what it comes down to?
Well, what they're doing is they're constructing this massive transit bill that also includes all kinds of infrastructure. It's a very vast bill that can pay for many, many things. So, yes, the House of Representatives in Michigan will be voting on 5229. That will be this gigantic shift of dollars out of Oakland County, primarily into Wayne, but also Washtenaw.
How much money are we actually talking about here, Senator?
Well, at 5 mills, that's about $300 million a year out of Oakland County. In 20 years, that's about $6 billion. If they do a 30-year bond, it's at $9 billion. What we could do for roads instead of these empty buses. This is going to be empty buses traveling around. This is a crash and burn disaster for the taxpayer.
And what's the next move on it? Is there another vote coming up? What's next?
There is going to be a vote if they get the numbers. They're short on the numbers. There's 4 new Democrats that were newly elected in Oakland County. Their supervisors have said, don't vote for this. But they're getting pressure from the party to vote against the interests of the people who put them in office. So I urge everyone to get on the phone and talk to their legislators and tell them vote against 5229 in the House.
Thanks for joining us and getting the word out to everybody, and we'll continue to cover it and be back in touch as this moves forward. Thank you again.
Thank you, Frank.
State Senator Jim Runestad of White Lake here on the Frank Beckmann Show.